Studying computer science was one of the most stressful times in my whole entire life. And a big part of it is that I was doing it because at the time, computer science was the hot major. If you got a degree in computer science from really any university, you were guaranteed a six-figure job. Like at the time, felt like an absurd amount of money to work at Google or Facebook and just program. And the thing is, I did computer science, but I always had a feeling that I didn't enjoy sitting there and programming all day long. When I had to do like these projects and assignments, it was never enjoyable for me to just sit down and program and figure those things out. But given all that, and even though I didn't like computer science and I'm unemployed right now with my degree, and there's effectively no hope of getting a job in the field at this time because of AI and people who are just elite and elitist. If I could go back, I would do it all over again. I would choose computer science. And I'm going to tell you why. And it's really because the program revealed to me that I can do hard things. And so, even though I didn't like doing computer science, I did it. And it was really hard, really challenging. I was working like 60, 80-hour weeks sometimes. And like it was really tough. But I got through it and I got my degree. And there were times where I thought, man, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. But I refused to give up. I refused to fail. And so I gave it my all and I was able to get through it. And so now I have this belief in myself from doing something so challenging, which lets me know I can do it. And studying computer science helped me to become an excellent problem solver. I know how to problem solve, and for me, it's totally natural now. And I've always been a problem solver, someone who seeks peace and reconciliation. But with the tools that I learned from studying computer science, I'm just like, I would say, like really good at problem solving. Studying computer science makes you a really good problem solver. And it also helped me to think in terms of systems and architecture, which makes me really good at planning things and considering all the parts and how they come together and how to connect them together to get the best output. And so this some of these things are unique to computer science. Oh, and engineering really, but computer science building up these complex programs and from bottom up, learning how to do that has just made me someone who considers things like time efficiency and space efficiency and to be able to see things as module, like as pieces that can be put together in different ways to provide different results or specific outcomes. And so like I'm super grateful for this way of thinking that that I use my time for in my 20s. It's really made me who I am today, I realized. Learning things like data structures has taught me how to be organized and how to organize my data and then how to work with that organized data, working with a list of things to sort things, the concept of nodes and pointers, things like that are just computer science concepts. But when you consider like what data is, then it provides a unique way of thinking that really only a computer science major will understand, dealing with data and organizing it the best way. And because of computer science, I learned a bunch of algorithms that I just naturally applied to real life now. Like I can think in terms of algorithms that there is, particular ways of doing things that yield the best results. And there are numerous ways of getting the same results, but some ways require more energy and require more time than others. And so There are lots of things to consider when you're thinking about making a procedure or steps to do something. Now that I think about it in real time, it's kind of what has helped me to change myself into someone who is more level headed and working toward being love manifested. It's that because I know how machines work, I can kind of like tweak myself a little bit, almost like a machine, and it works somehow, you know? And so this is also a gift that I hope to share with anyone who wants the gift, is that we can be transformed and we should work to be transformed. Because if it's not working, there's a reason why it's not working, which is something else I learned from computer science. And our goal is to get it working and to make sure that our output is good. And so I almost treat myself like a machine with love and respect, but something that can be changed and can be understood as parts and also a whole, but also spirit as well, which is my human side, let's say. But I'm human 100%. And I'll say computer science has made me more aware of different and even strange ways of thinking. You know, classes like theory of computation, which it gives you a perspective of like what is computable and what is not computable. Like it just gives me this idea of effectively what is possible and what is not possible. And it's like I can understand why, if that makes sense. Like theory of computation was one of my favorite classes, and it was challenging, but I loved it. I love that class. There's discrete math and computer architecture. Discrete math is like, you know, dealing with set theory. There's a little bit of logic. So you learn how you can group things together and how grouping data together, how to do it in useful ways. There's a lot of things in discrete math really that are useful. One of these days, I'll have to go back and look at it so that I can level up a little bit again. And computer architecture, it goes back to what I was saying, that with computer architecture, I can think in terms of systems and putting things together and why things work and how they work. And then I can use that to develop my own self. And that's what I've been doing, is developing myself to be as good as I can be. So a lot of my thinking that I've developed in the last decade is attributed to learning computer science, it turns out. I almost have taken it for granted. And even though I can't find a job with a degree, I love how it lets me work my mind. I love that my mind is this tool that I can use to problem solve and update things and understand things. And so, knowing that, my next goal is to study philosophy so that I can have deep depth and to really understand, you know, everything as much as I can. Well, conceptual ideas, but the truth is reality itself. So, I recommend computer science to anyone that's interested. I think given, you know, the world and the direction it's going with AI, you know, most majors are not going to get you a job to be employed. Maybe a doctor, maybe for another decade or so, I don't know. Um, I mean, we may get the elixir of life. Who knows what's going to happen? But whatever happens, education should be about becoming more wise and learning about what interests you, but knowing how to prioritize what matters most. And I think computer science is a great pathway to learning structure and being a good problem solver. So that's all. Peace.